Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all could be with us today. Going to go ahead and bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our chat. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a very great guest for joining us for this next segment. He's written a book that I really enjoyed, and I think you guys are going to find something for yourself that definitely will have you talking. And we're now live on the Amazon side with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. I'm going to type you guys a welcome message over there. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the book by our next guest. We're excited to welcome J. Timothy Hunt to our broadcast today. He's the author of the book you guys can see there, The Museum of Lies. And if the cover doesn't get your attention, I think the character that we're going to be talking about definitely will. I'm going to talk to Timothy not only about the writing of the book, but also what it's been like him to share the story and, of course, to see the response. Timothy, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
I'm delighted to be here.
Look,
Thanks for having me.
the pleasure's definitely all mine for sure. So first of all, I want to talk to you about where we are today. What has it been like for you, Timothy, to have written this book and now to share Carrie with the rest of the world?
This book actually took me quite a long time to write. Uh, and then it took me quite a long time to get published too.
Mm.
Because it wasn't, it's you can't really like put it in a genre, can you? I guess
Yeah.
it's not a mystery, so I just call it fiction. No, but this was quite a difficult book. This was my 9th book, and this was the hardest one I've ever written because it's so raw and so I went some places in this book that I didn't think I could go. I mean, I created this character, Carrie Scott, and he's like, I love him so dearly. He's like a child to me. And then I went and tortured this child. It was painful, the things I did to this character in this book. And it was, quite upsetting. And so, it took me quite a while to write and then quite a while to get published. But in the end, I'm wildly proud of it. And the reaction's been fantastic to it. So I think Carrie and I will be okay when this is done. But I certainly purged a lot of my own personal demons writing this book.
Wow. Well, and I think that's one of the interesting things too, Timothy, when people read the book, it is written in first person. So we get to experience the world as Carrie experiences it, and it is important to the story. And we won't tell too much of that part of it. But what I thought was so interesting, and it's funny hearing you say what you said, because I had said to you before we went live here that this book actually, even though it is fiction, right? It's a novel. It is, I think, sharing an important truth about life. And that is, and we see it every day, that you can go through different things, the world can beat you up, and you can still be standing. Is that one of the things that you connected with for yourself personally and kind of gifted to Carrie?
Well, yes, it is fiction, but it is also stuff that I have lived in my life. Just fictionalized. It's kind of hard to explain. So help me out here.
Okay. Okay. So look. So let me ask you this question: is that one of the reasons why it was the most difficult for you to write, because it was so personal to you?
Yes, that's why it was so difficult, because it was personal. I have personally had a wild life, full of horrible things and full of just amazing good fortune. I've met tons of important people. I've had jaw-dropping experiences. I've had horrific experiences. And sometimes when I tell people about my life and the things I've done, you can just see this look kind of go over their face, like they don't believe it. That it sounds unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so, I get this feeling that, people assume that I'm some sort of pathological liar.
Mm.
So I've written this book about a character who's had a parallel sort of wild roller coaster of an unbelievable life.
Right.
And I'm leaving it in doubt whether any of this stuff is actually true.
Yeah.
The main character absolutely believes in everything he says.
Right.
But the reader, you know, it's up for the reader to figure out, did any of this stuff actually happen? Is this
Yeah.
guy just making it all up?
Right.
Because a lot of it just sounds like way too either good or too bad to be true.
Right.
But in my own life, I've got tons of stories like that. Where just
Mhm.
like, if I set you down and told you my life, you would not believe it.
Yeah. And Timothy, I think that is the connection that readers
Mhm.
will, which is probably why readers are connected. 'Cause I think other people have those same shared experiences. So let me ask you that based on what I
Mhm.
just said. The fact that people are connecting with aspects of Carrie's story, how does that make you feel to know you've kind of created something that people can connect with?
Okay, so for instance, Carrie has a very severe eating disorder,
Mhm.
and I've been bulimic most of my life.
Mhm.
So I deeply, deeply know Carrie's crazy little internal monologue, the the thoughts that go through your head, when you make any sort of decision around food or about your body or about anything. I know that really, really deeply.
Mhm.
And many people who have read the book who have it has, well, triggered them really deeply because I'm able to really verbalize and the the sort of kind of crazy thought processes a person with an eating disorder goes through.
Right.
And when a person who has this reads that, they connect with it immediately. They
Mhm.
go, that's it. That's the way my brain works. That's the
Yeah.
way I treat myself. That's the way I talk to myself.
Mhm.
And so some people adore the book for that. Some people have just like put it down and can't pick it back up
Right.
because they're just so traumatized by what
Right.
I've written. But
Yeah.
uh, that's how I don't feel bad about that. Actually feel like I've done my job.
Right.
If if I've really touched them that deeply that they can't read the book. So
Exactly. Exactly. No, I totally agree with that. God Daddy, hello to you over there on IG. My mom's watching over on Facebook. Hey, mom, good be to
eh,
see you over there on Facebook. And that's just one of the instances that reminds me of a scene that you wrote. And as you were talking, I thought about it, where Carrie is eating and thinking about. I know I'll say this, and you know what I'm talking about cat food. And having a revelation as he's thinking about cat food, right?
mhm.
What about what he's doing at the time? And I think again that is one of the things that makes this book, I think, so relatable. For sure, Timothy. Another one that comes to mind is reflecting on some of the flashes that Carrie kind of takes us through, is his own awkwardness in life, and it shows up in different ways. How he's dealt with physical pain, how we see he deals with that, but
Mhm.
also the emotional pain too. So the emotional pain that Carrie experiences, that he's able to share with us, that you write about, was that also part of the healing that you felt in being able to share this story?
Oh, absolutely. This writing the book was very therapeutic
Hmm.
because I myself, you can't tell right now, but I'm not very tall.
Hmm.
I'm only 5'4",
Hmm.
and I grew up always the smallest kid in my class
Hmm.
all through school, and I was, I was always the small gay kid in
Hmm.
class, and that was hard growing up in Southern California in the 1970s 60s and into the early 70s.
Mhm.
And I was from a very religious family.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I just always felt like an alien,
Mhm.
dropped into my environment.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I never felt like I belonged anywhere, not
Yeah.
in my family, not in my community, not in my country.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, writing a character who feels and experiences is the same was definitely therapeutic for me. It was a little
Mhm.
traumatizing,
Right.
but it actually felt good to unload this
Yeah.
kind of stuff, even though I was unloading it
Mhm.
fictionally.
Right.
You know, I mean, certainly not all this stuff actually happened to me.
Sure. Sure.
Um, like my dad wasn't gay and ran off with my uncle. That's like
Mhm.
no, like absolutely not.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's Carrie's life.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
well, there's another aspect to it as well, Timothy, and that is about help. And Carrie is able to find someone, at least that he thinks is there, that's helping him.
Hmm.
It's interesting because our thoughts about therapy in life definitely have evolved. I think for the good. But it's not something that is stereotyped as much now. You have more people talking about now seeing a therapist, being able to go help, encouraging people to get help. What has that evolution been like for you to see? How even for Carrie, it may have been something that was embarrassing, but now it is something that is more talked about and accepted.
Well, certainly the help that Carrie gets, he has an event that happens in which he suddenly recalls a very long repressed traumatic memory,
Hmm.
and he's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, but he
Right.
doesn't remember how it ended.
Right.
It's a horrible thing he remembers, and
Right.
like he remembers it, and he just had pushed it out of his mind for years. And um, at this time of the book, I think it's like the 1980s, I think. Um, and so he's recover that missing piece of this traumatic memory that,
Hmm.
and back then there was sort of a fad um, therapy thing called repressed memory therapy, or RMT. That was pretty popular. You'd go, there was like rebirthing, and then like
Hmm.
uh, they would take you back through hypnosis and have you unlock all these repressed memories that you had, stored in your brain, that would explain how you ended up the way you are, why you now make these bad choices. And if you could just unlock this hidden repression, the hidden repressed whatever, you could heal and become a better person. Unfortunately, they found out the brain doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
After hundreds of lawsuits, what the therapists were actually doing, unwittingly, in most cases, was actually implanting false memories in
Right.
their parents' heads.
Right.
And once these false memories are implanted, they feel like real memories. I mean, you would swear this is your actual memory,
Hmm.
even things that absolutely didn't happen. And I mentioned lawsuits. There was one really famous case of a man who was convicted of murder and sent away to jail for life because his daughter went through RMT,
Hmm.
and she remembered her father killing her best friend when she was a child.
Hmm.
Like, yes, her friend something had happened to her friend. Um, but her dad absolutely did not kill this kid.
Right.
And it came out later, that this was all implanted false memories in the daughter's head. And the guy was eventually released after a long time in jail. And there was a whole school in, was it California, where people remembered, like the faculty was doing satanic ritual child abuse or something like that. And like the whole faculty ended up in jail. based on implanted false memories in kids or parents or whatever. It's caused a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So now he went to this therapist, and now he has these memories, which he's sure they're true. He's sure they are real. But maybe they're not. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I said I love the fact that that's for a lot of that we're able to as the reader kind of just make a decision for ourselves. Okay, is this was all of this something did we just go through this whole journey with an individual, which is again goes to the way the book is written too, because I think one of the things that's so great about first person narratives for myself as a reader, Timothy, is that you we only have the perception of the person telling us a story, right? And so we become invested in it. If someone says I, we take it that this is what happened. So I love that fact. So for yourself, even to come full circle, as you mentioned, this was the most difficult of the books you've written.
Mhm.
Is it now something you can say that you're glad now you get to share with us?
Oh yeah. What I ended up writing, I realized that I wrote this book for me. I I am the whole audience for this. When I was writing this book, I was the audience, and as I just reread the book like a month ago, and I realized if someone else had written this book, this would be my favorite book.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm really, really pleased with that. That I ended up writing my own favorite book, which is
Got it.
kind of weird to say,
Mhm.
but truly, when I was writing the book, I was not thinking about any other reader on this planet but me. I was writing the book that I would want to read, or the book that I personally would need to read.
Yeah, yeah. And it goes to, again, what I mentioned to you at the beginning, Timothy, about the importance, I think, even though, again, this fictionalized world you created, the message and
Mhm,
overcoming comes through in so many ways. And we're able to see it not only with Carrie, but also what we learn about Carrie's mother, right? And trying to
mhm.
do the best that she could, in the circumstances that she was in, and wanting to be there for Carrie, right? I think that is one of the things that we see as well. So now you're a part of this world that all of us are kind of drawn into, Timothy, and that being social media. I'm following you on Instagram.
Mm.
We have an audience that's watching us over there. I want to say hello again to all of you. What has that been like for you now, to think about where you brought Carrie into this world and the way we're able to communicate with one another, both online but also offline?
Uh, it's it's actually it feels when I hear back from people who have read the book, even though it's not my autobiography,
Mhm.
it still feels I still feel a little naked whenever, people read the book. I just feel personally like emotionally exposed.
Mm.
So I try to not read what people
Okay.
write about the book, just to
Okay.
sort of to protect myself from it.
Okay. Okay.
I've received no negative feedback from anybody
Mhm.
on it yet. So, which is, I mean, not reviewers um, or readers or anything, which has been amazing.
Mhm.
But yes, I've had a lot of positive messages
Yeah.
about the book. People saying, "Yeah, yeah, I understand him. I
Yeah.
get him."
Mm.
Um, and you also mentioned, the whole book is in first person. It's a series of monologues,
Mhm.
and that is a writer's choice that I made, because when you do that, you only see things from his point of view.
Right.
You don't see anybody's outside perspective on him.
Mhm.
So, well, like all of us, we only have our own point of view. But, often in novels, you can see, one person is acting this way, and then another person,
Yeah.
is like somewhere else,
Mhm.
living their lives. And, then you can judge the reality of what's going on because you have different perspectives. And so I kept this one like blinkered
Yeah.
so that the reader only sees Carrie's perspective of everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a choice I made.
And I think it's a choice that really will bring the readers in. Again, everyone, J. Timothy Hunt has been our guest. He's the author of the book you guys see here, The Museum of Lies. You can get it here on Amazon, both in print as well as a Kindle edition. The Kindle edition is on sale right now for only $5.99. Going to highlight it for you guys over there on the Amazon side. Congratulations to you again, Timothy. So glad to be able to have you on the broadcast to talk about the book and your own journey. How can our audience stay connected with you?
Oh, it's easy. You can go to jtimothyhunt.com or
Mhm.
just email me at jtimothyhunt@gmail.
Love it.
So easy peasy peasy. And you can also find me on Facebook as J period Timothy Hunt. Just don't forget the J. My first name is actually James.
Okay. Got
So
it. Got it. Well, Timothy,
well, that's great.
congratulations to you again, and looking forward to our next chat together.
Me too. This was
All right.
delightful. Thank you so much, Cyrus.
More than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.